Welcome, my beautiful empowered empaths. Today we get to talk about how to create miracles. My name is Dr. Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and I'm so honored to be with you here today. In addition to helping people become personally empowered as a coach, I am also a clairaudient angel communicator, which means I spend lots of time with and in the energetic realm, talking with them, learning about all that is available to each one of us, and receiving from them tips and tools and techniques that will help us live lives that feel better, that just allow us to feel like we're constantly living in the miracle zone. So today we want to look at how you can create a miracle. And the first thing they want you to know is that miracles are happening every minute of every day. So please, as you join with me today, I want you to open your heart. Just put aside any kind of skepticism or disbelief that you may have been harboring, and instead just be open to receiving the information and see whether you feel this is something that you can get in alignment with or not. If you can get in alignment with the information, then you too are going to be living a life filled with miracles. So this is what we're going to look at today. First of all, let's quickly review what a miracle is. We got to make sure that we're always starting from the same knowledge point. Otherwise, there can be so much confusion and misunderstanding. And then we need to look at what not to do when you're wanting to create a miracle. What you must do in order to be able to receive, why purity is necessary, and when we look at purity, I want to identify what purity is, because this is another place where we are often getting confused and may put ourselves out of the miracle zone without even realizing it. And then let's look at the question that I get too often, and that is, why didn't I get my miracle? What's wrong with me? Because I don't want you to wait another minute. There's nothing wrong with you, but you may be doing things that are causing you to step away from your miracle. And then, of course, we want to look at who is the helper from the energetic realm that can assist you in receiving your miracle. Because it's lovely to look around and see other people who are receiving a miracle, but if you need a miracle right this minute, then you need a helper who can make it easier for you to get in that place where miracles abound for you. So, to begin, what is a miracle? A miracle occurs when there is a perfect alignment with the divine. This means that that which you desire and that which is desired for you by the divine, or another way to say that is that which is for your highest good. When both of those things are the same, a miracle can occur easily. A miracle always delivers the highest good for all concerned. It is not going to bless someone and hurt someone else. So understand that you cannot use miracles as a way to beat out someone else. A miracle is love, and love, unconditional love, isn't concerned about beating out somebody else, being in first place. Unconditional love is concerned with doing the greatest amount of good for the most amount of people. So, what are the things that you absolutely should not be doing if you're interested in your own miracle? So the first thing is, you're not going to help yourself receive a miracle if you fall into the habit of asking again and again and again. This is please, 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 or that kind of begging. Oh, I need a miracle. And then 5 seconds later, I really need a miracle. I need a miracle. Get used to the understanding or the fact that you don't need to keep asking and asking and asking. Instead of putting all of your energy into the asking part, I want you to put all of your energy into the receiving side, the side where you have to be open and you have to believe that it is possible for you. While you're asking, you are not in that same place where you would be when you are receiving. Receiving is an inward focus. Asking is outward. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me. You were heard the first time. Now your job is to go within so that you can hear the answer. And absolutely everyone has a way to receive an answer from the divine. It can be feeling, it can be seeing, it can be hearing, but you will know. However, you're not going to be able to put your attention on receiving as long as you are continuing to formulate your request over and over and over again. So you don't have to beg, you only need to ask once. The next thing you've got to stop doing is wondering if you are worthy. That's the same thing as saying, please don't help me. I know that in this society, so many of us have been conditioned to believe that there's a certain amount of hoops that you have to jump through. There's a way that you have to behave in order to be considered worthy. Just let that go. Just know that you are a child of the divine. And because you are a child of the Creator, you are automatically worthy. You need do nothing else. The next thing I want you to stop doing is working to try to create the miracle yourself. So in other words, you say, I need the miracle of a new car. And instead of just allowing yourself to get into the place of receiving where you will be guided as to the next steps that you need to do in order to receive this car, you start scurrying around, and maybe you get 15 jobs so that you'll be able to afford a new car. Or you start looking at all of the places where you could buy a car. But all of your activity is focused outward and outward and outward. You are busy trying to make the miracle happen. That's not your job. That is the job of the divine. Give the Creator the opportunity to do their job. Your job is to get into a place where you can be guided and directed. If you need 15 jobs in order to make the miracle of receiving a better car come to you or for you, I guarantee you, you will be guided to those 15 jobs. You don't need to go out in a crazy mad dash searching for those jobs, because the direction, if you were to get quiet, may be just be here in this moment, and then go out and offer this service to this woman that's waiting, and in return, she wants to give you a present. Well, what if the present is she no longer wants to drive and was just looking for someone to give her car to because she's not feeling that she wants to drive anymore, and the service that you performed for her touched her heart in such a way that she wants to reward you with the car. If you're busy searching the job boards or running around town dropping off resumes, you would miss the opportunity that the divine have prepared for you. So go quiet first and get your direction, and then take the action as you are guided. Another thing that is going to absolutely prevent you from being able to receive your miracle is if you were to give up in frustration. We all know that if you give up, you cannot receive. So, I get it. I understand that sometimes you get frustrated. Acknowledge the frustration, but please don't give up. Take a breath, take a moment, do something kind and loving for yourself, but please don't give up. And the final thing that I do not want you to be doing if you are wanting to receive a miracle is looking around. Let's say the miracle is taking longer than you believe it should. And so you want to give up in frustration, but you've convinced yourself, no, I'm going to hang on. Please don't start looking around for someone else to blame for why the miracle is taking longer than you think it should. Everything happens at the moment when it is perfect. You getting frustrated isn't going to speed it up. It's probably going to slow it down. And you getting frustrated isn't going to keep you in alignment with where your miracle is being created. So you must remember that your most important job is to be in alignment with the divine so that you can receive their guidance and direction, and that you are open to moving yourself to wherever it is you need to be in order to receive. I don't want you missing out because you're over in the land of frustration and fear and maybe and I hope so, when if you were just able to hold yourself in the lane of I know so, you would have been able to receive. So now let's look at what you should be doing to make it easier for you to receive a miracle. And again, it's that word, alignment. You want to do everything in your power to stay in that high vibration of love, joy, and peace. This doesn't mean you will never get frustrated or experience any other emotion. This just means you acknowledge it, but you don't let it control you. So, if you are feeling a moment of anger, fear, frustration, whatever it is, instead of just letting that derail you completely, and here comes our helper. Whoop, come on. There we go. You allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you are needing to feel. You get it out of your system, and then you move back to the place where you can be aligned with love, joy, and peace. It is so important that you recognize how much power you have and how little power anyone else or the events that are transpiring in the world have on you. They have only what you are willing to give. You are the important one. You are the one with all of you're holding all the cards. You're the authority in your own life. Please don't give your power away by assigning importance to other people or other things. So now, you're going to do your best to stay in alignment. You are also going to do your best to let go of fear and pain and any of the other lower vibrations. Acknowledge, but move on as quickly as you can. Also, please, I remember just for whatever reason, being completely addicted to the idea that things were never going to work out in my favor. I want you to release that. Release your resistance to things don't go my way. Or, I'm sorry, release your resistance to things working out and let go of the mindset that might say, oh, things just don't work out for me. Oh, nothing's going well for me, or, whatever it might be. Just let go of that. It's not going to serve you. And whatever you focus upon is what you're going to receive. So you need to make sure that you are focused on the good. And it doesn't matter what you need to do in order to get there. But truly fill your mind with what's right about the world, about yourself, about your family, about your situation, and just let go of what's wrong. In one of the ways that you can do this is to make peace. Make peace with yourself and others. If you are in a place where you're feeling extremely frustrated for whatever reason, I want you to ask yourself, how is this serving me? And if you find that it is not moving you toward your highest good, do your best to let it go. Enter the place where the divine already is. The divine do not hang out in those lower emotions of fear, jealousy, anger, greed, selfishness. They don't exist there because they are only available in the place of unconditional love. And unconditional love looks at everything, calls everything good, sees all of the good that exists, and focuses on it to the exclusion of all else. And if you want to be as the divine are, you need to imitate what they do. And that means get exclusionary in your vision. Look at what's right. Look at what you do have. Look at what's going well. Look at what you love. Fill your mind and your heart with things that feel good. Worry, anxiety, anger, jealousy, those lower emotions, they're just going to pull you away from what you want. So do your best to get in the place where your heart is feeling full. Go to the highest vibration that you can possibly achieve. And this is something that you're going to have to do over and over again throughout your day. I don't know of anyone who is able to sustain a high vibration without any kind of wobble. So don't get frustrated or upset or condemning of yourself if you find that you're wobbling a little. Oh, I'm a little worried. Okay, acknowledge it. Move on and move back into the place where you can feel good. So, oh, I'm feeling a little worried. Okay. Hey, good for me for noticing that I am beginning to get in a worry state. I know that's not going to help me. I know that's not going to bring me closer to my miracle. So I'm just going to close my eyes, take a breath, let it go, and in its place, receive the unconditional love of the divine. Allow that energy to fill your heart. Instead of just leaving an empty void, actively participate and bring in energy that feels good. The highest caliber energy that you can possibly receive is unconditional love. So align with that and learn to let yourself off the hook. It's okay to wobble back and forth. Just do your best not to spend long periods of time in a low vibration, because it's going to push away whatever good was wanting to come towards you. The other thing that it should be so obvious, but I find that it's so interesting. I catch myself doing it all the time, and that is, you must allow the divine to bless you. I don't want you saying any things like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. Oh, have I done enough to receive? Just let it go. Stop putting conditions on it, and instead, get into the place where you just say, I'm going to allow myself to be loved by the divine no matter what. No matter what I may have done, no matter what I may have said, no matter what I may have thought. I'm going to release all of that and just allow myself to receive the blessings that are flowing freely and continuously onto every person. I'm going to receive my share. Understand that if something is flowing freely and continuously onto every person, there is no way that you receiving your portion is going to take away someone else's. And you receiving continuous blessings cannot diminish the supply, because the supply is never ending and continuously renewing. So just receive and receive and receive. The worst that's going to happen is that you will become so filled with blessings that you will be a blessing to others, because you will start overflowing. And as you overflow, you won't be able to contain it, and you will be a blessing to others. Trust the divine, recognize your worth, and allow it to be easy. Allowing it to be easy should be something that we were taught from infancy. But for most of us, we're taught that it's hard work that matters. But I want you to let go of that false belief system. That's a limiting belief. Instead, start saying to yourself, everything is always working out for my highest good. And just take a breath. Wow, how does it feel to have everything work out for your highest good? It feels magnificent. So stay with that thought. Now, here we come to this really important point that has caused so much confusion, and that is the idea of purity. We got to know first, what is purity and why is it necessary? And you will hear often, if you read the Course of Miracles, you will hear a lot about purity. And it can cause you to believe that purity means you are without sin, that you've never made a mistake, or that you are somehow better than everyone else in the room. And that is a misconception. Again, another limiting belief that may prevent you from receiving all that has been gifted to you already. So what is purity? Purity is being willing to forgive and forget whatever mistake you or anyone else might have made. So instead of focusing on, they did this or I did this, I made a mistake, let it go. Get into the space of unconditional love where you look at everything and you see it's fabulous, wonderful, magnificent. Come from that place instead of the place of condemnation. This is going to allow you, this meaning that state of everything is wonderful, is going to allow you to be pure in the eyes of God. All that they want is for you to be self-loving and self-accepting, and then for you to extend that to others, to them. That is purity. But let me reiterate one more time. Purity will never mean that you are a being without sin. Remember, the word sin means mistake, and the whole purpose of our life journeys is to make mistakes until we understand what we do want and what we don't want. So the divine will never say to you, you're bad, you made a mistake. They will be delighted that you are exploring so that you can discover what feels good and what doesn't. What they would prefer that you don't do is, once you discover something that you don't want, please don't keep doing it over and over again as some sort of punishment. Just let it go. And now we've only got a few minutes left, and I want to tell you first some of the reasons why you may not be getting your miracle, and then who is going to be of the greatest assistance for you to receive a miracle. Now, if you feel that you want additional help and support beyond what you're able to receive from me here in these free videos and in the other free resources, then I invite you to join my spiritual community, My Heart's Desire. Right now you can join for $11.11 and do the self-study program. And in January I'm going to be opening up the coaching portion of the program. I have an ongoing group right now. I'm going to open another space for another group, and there you will get that deep, deep, deep support that really is transformational. So let's take a quick look at some of the reasons why you may not be receiving your miracle. First thing I want to share with you is perhaps it's not yet time. Just relax. It's on its way. Remember, the minute you ask, you have been heard. And it doesn't have to be a verbal ask. The minute you start formulating the desire, you have been heard, and that desire is on its way to you. But I have no control, and you have no control over when it reaches you. It will get to you in the perfect time. So just relax. Make sure that you are staying in alignment. If you have found that you're out of alignment, step back so that you can be ready when your miracle is ready for you. Just always remember, I must be ready to receive. Rather than I must be busy doing, I must be ready to receive. And the receiving can be the miracle itself or directions on where you need to go in order to receive. Know that you are worthy. If you are allowing questions or concerns about your value to be in the forefront of your mind, you are going to be preventing your miracle from reaching you. Trust that you've been heard, Let go of the fear. Fear acts like a steel wall between you and what you desire. So I understand that it's not always possible to be without fear. I get it. Acknowledge the fear. Oh, I'm really scared. Take a breath. Okay, I'm proud of myself for recognizing how afraid I am. How is this serving me? Am I really receiving something for this fear? You're not going to be receiving anything but more fear. So do what you can to release yourself from this limitation. This is when heart healing is really, really so beneficial. I also want you to check your heart for roadblocks. And this again is in that heart healing domain. But you need to do the work to really get into that heart, who is the ruler of the subconscious domain, and say to yourself, what beliefs am I holding? What trauma, what previous incident may I be attached to that is preventing me from being able to get into alignment, stay in alignment, and receive guidance, direction, and miracles from the divine? I guarantee you, as soon as you are able to locate it, you will be able to release it, and as soon as you release it, you will usher in a whole new relationship and strength that you didn't realize was available to you. And another thing that I want to encourage you to do is to reach out and uplift someone else. You know, when we're in the state where we may be feeling like, I really need help, I really need help, I really need help, we can get really isolated and really just spinning in that circle. And it's so wonderful when you reach out and help someone else. It's going to open you in a new and beautiful way. Over the course of the years that I have been working in this field, I have had the just wonderful pleasure of working with so many amazing men and women. And they taught me so much about miracles. And I do want to share with you some of the characteristics that each one of these men and women had in common. First of all, they had complete faith. They trusted that the miracle they desired was going to find its way to them. They were very patient. They did not give up. They kept believing. They could not be convinced otherwise. And they were always quick to encourage others. So please follow the example set by these magnificent men and women, and just keep believing, trust, know that you are worthy, be patient, and don't ever give up. The energetic helper, who is so special to me and who is the miracle worker, is of course Jesus. Now, if you have trouble with any kind of religious terminology, don't worry, you can give Jesus any name you desire. This is not the religious Jesus. This is the Jesus that demonstrated to us perfect alignment and the ease with which you could perform miracles if you were to hold that alignment. So if you are struggling in any way, if you need a miracle, call on the energy of Jesus, the Christ consciousness that is the bridge that exists within each one of us. It is the doorway, that access point, so that you can align more deeply and completely with the divine. There is so much help available. Please reach out. Reach out to the energetic realm. Open your heart and receive your miracle today. Thanks, everyone. That's all the time I have today. As always, I invite you to join me in my community, My Heart's Desire. You can do the self-study program, or you can dive deep with me, and together it is group coaching, just so that you know. Together we will look at those limitations, the negativity, the trauma, and other things that may be holding you stuck. Release you from them and allow you to live a life that is filled with miracles. I'm Dr. Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. And until next time, I'm sending you all my love